streets of Cincinnati. Welcome to the jungle! Let's go. Stripes, 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 yeah, stripes, 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 yeah. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite in our Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers strike the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you rapping, who day? Time to put your hands up. Dingle stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Who day in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move dancing on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah we got 'em, yeah we fought 'em. Like that black and orange upon 'em, bingo bottom, never stopping till the beast on feasting on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move dancing on? Now who wanna move on? Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trenopole. Shout out to Gift Vader and Blacklight Productions. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel and download it. I hope it's on Apple or something like that. I have not heard. So hopefully, if you guys or Blacklight Productions are out there, to let me know if you guys are on Spotify or anything like that. But definitely go to the YouTube channel and check it out. So welcome to the show. Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I'm up to 1,366 subscribers. That is awesome. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And if you're watching it on Facebook or Twitter and you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, why not? Do me a favor, go to the YouTube channel, hit that subscription button, hit the bell for notifications, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube channel, if you guys would like to support what I'm doing, we're doing super chats, so you can put a super chat up there, and I'll post it as quickly as I can. Now I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave, and the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. All right, guys, it's a Wednesday. It's kind of, midweek. We're kind of coming down a little bit from the great football weekend we had in Cincinnati here for the Bearcats win and the Bengals win. We're starting to ramp it up. So, for most of you that watch me, know this is my first year doing fantasy football, and I completely suck at it, even though I'm planning on dominating this league, even though I got my ass kicked last week. But I'm still going to come back and dominate. It's going to be the greatest comeback in fantasy football history. Probably not. So I'm talking to Orange here, trying to figure out how to drop people and do all this stuff. It's on the Sleeper app, and I don't know anything about it. And so anyway, you know what? I'm just like, let me go ahead and just bring on the man. Hold on a second. I got to get his intro here first. Hang on one second here, because this is kind of like last minute. Where is Orange Arrow? Where are you? Where is your intro? I can't find you. That's 2 Day Baby. I have got too many people. Anyway, you know what? You guys know who Arrow is. And my apologies, Arrow. I will put your intro up next time because I can't find it. Anyway, let's get to him. What's up, Arrow? Faith, family, football. Love it. What's going on?
Faith, family, Cincinnati football, baby.
There you go. Sorry I didn't get your intro up, but like
we were talking.
He was giving me fantasy football advice before the show, and I'm like, I'm getting all like, oh yeah, I need to do that. I need to do this and that, and then I'm like, oh crap, I got to start the show. So we'll see. I will get this question here real quick by Sean, and then we'll get to the fantasy stuff here. What's your record prediction for the Bengals this year? Mine's been 11-5. I said 11-5 since the schedule came out. I'm sticking with it. That's my prediction. If I'm wrong, oh well. So, Arrow, what is going on in fantasy this week on a Wednesday? What should we be looking for? What are the trends? What's going on?
So I know one thing that's going on right now. Obviously, I'm sure you've heard the news. Raheem Moser is out for the year, so the 49ers won't have him, and a lot of people ran to the waiver wire to pick up. I think his name's Jamichael Hasty.
Okay.
He is a 6th round pick, and everybody thought that Trey Sermon was the guy, and then all of a sudden last week Trey Sermon was inactive, and then Jamichael Hasty got the majority of the snaps after Moser got hurt. So Moser is probably Hasty is probably the number one pickup of the week. So that's what's going on right now. And then there's a couple more players. I know we can look into the trending. Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell. I'm sorry, not Jamichael Hasty. I think he's the guy behind Elijah Mitchell. But Mark Ingram had a good week. Tim Patrick, obviously, with Jerry Jeudy being out, is a pretty solid pickup, I think. And then guys like Christian Kirk, he seemed to have a pretty good snap share of the week. And then Arizona Cardinals defense, that's another one. Going up against Minnesota, you saw what our Bengals done to that offensive line. And, I mean,
our defense was awesome.
Oh, yeah. Arizona's defense absolutely lit it up last week. So that's another good pickup. Yeah. That's a little quick rundown.
So for fantasy football idiots like me, like this is where I really screwed up. I could have got some points, and everybody's gonna laugh at me because we had the flex position here in your league, the Orange Arrow Fantasy League, and it's a 2-quarterback league, which means I could start 2 quarterbacks. I could put a quarterback in the flex position, so I got Joe Burrow, and the other one's some guy named Tom Brady who threw for a hell of a lot of yards on Thursday night.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of it. He played for a few years.
Yeah. My dumbass didn't put him in as the flex position. So I lost out on a ton of points. I probably still would have lost. But it is very important to, as I'm learning as I go, to pay attention to the waiver wire. And I have to give a shout out to my boy Arrow here because Arrow sits like 2 rows behind me. And the game's about to start. And he's like, ice. I was like, yeah. He goes, are you starting OBJ? I said, yeah. He goes, he's not playing today. I said, crap. I go, here, can you fix it? That's the thing, too. I'm at the game, and I don't know about you, Arrow. I was having a hard time getting internet there at Paul Brown Stadium. So I think your wife told me to turn my phone off and turn it back on one time, and it started working a little better after that. But those are things that you have to actually pay attention to, which I mean, obviously you got to pay attention to it. And then you got to pay attention to waiver wire, like dropping guys and picking guys up. It's just there's a lot to it. So being a newbie, it's interesting of how things are going, and obviously everybody knows I drafted mostly Bengals, so I got to figure some stuff out here when they have a bye week. So what would you suggest that I do? I guess for my Bengals bye week when I need some players. And now if I drop guys, can the other guy teams pick them up? Because I don't want to drop them and lose them. I mean, I want to keep them. Like
Right.
People keep trying to trade me for Joe Mixon. Now I'm like, I ain't giving up Joe Mixon. And by the way, FedEx player of the week, I gotta put that up.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So we gotta give Joe Dean some love. FedEx Air Ground Player of the Week. So that is cool. And then also, I'll get to that real quick too. Go vote for Jamar Chase. He's up for the Pepsi Zero Rookie of the Week. So you go find that Bengals. Yep, go there and vote for that. So those
and you can vote as many times as you want to.
Exactly. So go get out there, vote. All right, so let's get back to the fantasy. What do you suggest that I do with all my Bengals? Am I just going to lose that week, or which I lost last week?
So there's a couple different ways or a couple different strategies that you can do. One strategy is have all of your players a whole bunch of different bye weeks. That way you're not worrying about it. You know, every week you'll have one or two players out. And then there's the other strategy, like what you have, where you have the majority of your players are on a bye week the same week. Right. That just means you're going to lose 1 week. I mean,
yeah,
I've played that strategy before, and it's not bad at all. I mean, if you have the majority of your top tier players out 1 week, there's 15 games before, or I think 15 weeks of regular season in fantasy, and then you got the playoffs at weeks 16, 17, and 18. Or no,
right,
14 weeks, and then weeks 15, 16, and 17, because we don't play the final week. But
right.
So missing 1 week of all your star players is not a bad thing to do. So that's one way of doing it, and I don't, like I said, I've played that way before, and I didn't mind it at all.
Well, one weapon I do have, I actually have two weapons I'm very proud of. One of them is Evan Kickfearson. As Tim here says, I've been telling people all offseason that Evan Kickfearson is going to win us at least 4 games. Never thought it would been week 1. And yeah, that was awesome. Hey. I got him on my team. I got Mixon.
Absolutely. Kickfearson, I know you're watching right now. Cheers, brother. Congratulations for being the special teams player of the week.
Hell yeah. Exactly. Man, that wasn't the time that I hugged you. I think the time I hugged you was the Jamar Chase touchdown. I think that's when I was so excited when Jamar got that touchdown.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know what? I don't know. We probably hugged like 3 or 4 different times. There's a bunch of, I mean, especially, and you know, the weird part about it too is once when Evan came out there for that 33-yarder, I had this sigh of relief.
I know.
I've never felt that before.
It's good. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's awesome. it's a legit weapon. I told my dad, I think I told you guys too, I said, we get across the 50, we can score. And I'm not even kidding. Yeah. We can.
I mean, what did he say? As long as we get across the 42, we're good?
Yeah, 42, we're good.
That's what, a 62-yarder or something like that?
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's ridiculous. I'm like, that's, I mean, I say the 50, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, but I think he can hit it.
I definitely think. I think if you give that guy 10 tries, he could probably hit it from the other 40.
Exactly. So let's go through your league here. Actually, tell everybody about, because you got a show tonight too. Tell everybody about your show too. It's coming up tonight.
Yeah, it's the Orange Arrow Fantasy Show every Wednesday at 6:30, and I'll talk about starts and sits of the week, guys. I hate saying sits but it just rolls off the tongue better. But it's more along the lines of players to kind of temper your expectations on. So got that every week, and so make sure after this show you hop on over there and tune into that one, and I'll give you a little more in depth on some things. But yeah, we'll be going over. Do what?
I was saying, and you're doing something with Anthony Cosenza too, and that, you know what you're telling me too?
Oh yeah. Every week we do a little fantasy advice, a little betting advice, some survivor pool kind of stuff like that. I'm not sure when that's going to air, but we'll be we'll be recording that here pretty soon too. So obviously, I'm sure everybody that watches this watches OBI, but yeah, that's pretty fun too.
So being Wednesday, tomorrow night is Thursday night football. So you got to make sure whoever is, if you have somebody obviously that's playing Thursday night, you got to make sure you're starting them if you want to. So this is it's Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, but it's kind of the beginning, I guess, of the fantasy week of, so you make sure you got your team pretty much set, which you don't have to set everybody, but if you want the guys playing for Thursday night, obviously you have to get them set. So tell me what's the preparation like for that? What goes into that?
So one of the things I always like to do is when you're going into a Thursday night game, any players that you have that are playing Thursday night, if they're in your flex position, move them out of your flex position and move them into either the running back or the wide receiver position, just because it gives you more flexibility. Like if you're starting Saquon Barkley next week and he kind of has a dud performance, which I'm telling you right now, temper your expectations on Saquon Barkley. He did not look very good Sunday, and that quick turnaround, he said, I think he even said, that's hard for somebody that's coming off an injury to have that quick of a turnaround, week 1 and week 2, basically having to play, 4 days later?
Especially the position he plays.
Right. And then on top of that, you're going up against Washington's defense. So that's one guy that I have as kind of a sit or a temper your expectation of the week. So you always want to make sure those guys are in your running back or your wide receiver position. That way, if something were to happen, you can go for more of an upside play in your flex. Like, say, let's think of somebody here. Deshaun Jackson. Like that kind of guy you probably wouldn't normally start. Right. But every week he could go off for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns off of 2 bombs, and that kind of stuff. So it gives you that flexibility that, hey, I was going to start Saquon Barkley in my flex, but since I put him in my running back position, I can now start a wide receiver in place of him in that flex position.
Now I have a question. How we have a two quarterback league, and so I know not everybody has a 2 quarterback league. Does everybody have a flex position in most of their fantasy leagues? Which, again, showing my ignorance, I don't know.
Yeah. So most standard lineups will be one quarterback, 2 running backs. Most of the time, it'll be 2 wide receivers and a flex, and then of course you'll have your tight end, kicker, defense.
Right.
But what I wanted to do on this one, since it's a 10-man league, and there are, a ton of quality quarterbacks out there this year that I think could put you 20 to 25 points a week. I wanted to do 2 quarterbacks, so that's what we ended up doing the super flex. Which what's great about the super flex is if you don't have a good quarterback matchup, you can still start a wide receiver, a running back, or a tight end in that spot as well.
Exactly. All right, let's get to we'll get back to fantasy here in a minute. Yeah, Marvin says Ricardo Allen to the IR, Trenton Irwin on the 53-man roster. Yeah, Ricardo Allen apparently had hurt his hand in the game Sunday. So I got that right here. So, yeah, they put
and he had a little hamstring tightness, I think.
Yeah, and he's got a little hamstring. Yep. So Trenton Irwin was moved up from the practice squad to the active roster, and they signed safety Sean Davis to the practice squad. So secondary is taking a little bit of a hit. I'm not that worried about it because what hell if we can get the pressure that we got last week, that helps your secondary a lot. So
absolutely.
And the Bears' offensive line, let's be honest, is not that good. And I think they got some injuries on their offensive line from last week as well. So
yeah, they're starting. It was their starting right tackle, I think, went out with an injury, and then the backup to that starting right tackle also went out with an injury. So
yeah, so that bodes well for the Bengals. And the Bengals, look, we got a little bit of injuries going on with the secondary, but none of them are major. These guys Trey Wayne's going to come back. Ricardo Allen will come back. None of them are major injuries. So that's a good thing. We made it through except for Joseph Osai, made it through all of training camp and first week and no major injuries is great. We need to keep that up. So I'm kind of surprised that I love Irwin. I was happy for him when he made the team, out of training camp, but then it kind of got switched around on him. So I'm happy he gets a shot. I am a little concerned that they might not be that deep in the secondary, being down 2 guys this week. I'm hoping they might. I wouldn't be surprised if they switch something around.
Yeah, and I know. I think Brandon Wilson's their only backup safety now, ain't he?
I'm pretty sure you're right on that. To be honest, yeah.
Yeah. So, and know what's crazy?
He doesn't get a lot of looks at safety either. He's mostly just a kick returner and safety.
Special
teams guy.
And I'm going to knock on wood when I say this, but I almost said Vaughn. Bell and Bates, both of them guys, have played their whole career and been. I'm not going to say. I can't even say it because I'm afraid.
Don't let
you know where I was heading. You know where I was heading.
I got you. Yeah.
But anyway, and the crazy part is this team has actually had some pretty significant injuries. And it's just crazy to think that we're so accustomed to having such devastating injuries on key pieces that the pieces that we have, we're like, you know what? We've had pretty good injury luck so far, and I'm going to knock on wood again.
Yep.
But, for any other team, this would be kind of a big hit. I mean, any other team besides like San Francisco and obviously Baltimore right now is struggling.
49, the Sucky Niners and the Ratbirds, they've gotten a lot of injuries here. Now, this is one guy I want to bring this up, as Easton said here. Darius Phillips was also limited in practice today. It shouldn't be too bad. I'm kind of hoping Darius gets a little more playing time than he has, and I'm just curious as to why he doesn't. I mean, there's something, and I heard this on the hear that podcast Prown there from the guys from The Athletic.
Yeah,
that they think there's something with the coaching staff that they don't trust Darius or don't like the way he plays or something.
He got naked pictures of somebody or something like that.
Yeah, there's got to be something. It's like, why doesn't he get more playing time? I know some people say, because he's back there for punt returns. I'm like, yeah, Pac-Man Jones was a punt returner and he played a lot, so that I don't really buy that thing.
Here's the thing. Think about it this way, and this is I'm literally, my mind just dinged when you was talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think they signed Trent Irwin to the active roster? I have a feeling that next week there's a good chance Darius plays more on the defense without having, with missing Ricardo Allen, and Trent Irwin gets a lot more punt return looks.
Well, yeah, that's good. That's a good look there. I mean, they're honestly going to have to, because like you said, you only got one safety backing up Bates and Bell right now, right? I mean, if I'm so, and Darius plays safety and corner, so yeah,
and they like showing that free look or that free safety look, and Darius can play that kind of. I think Darius. I think he would be a pretty darn good safety. I mean, he has the ball tracking skills to be able to do stuff like that. So
he gets burned a lot because he takes a lot of chances. I think that's one of the problems. I like that, but he's got to learn when to do it and when not to do it. Because I think that's the thing that's holding him back. He's gotten burnt a lot, but he's, like you said, he's got great ball tracking skills and he's very athletic. And let's be honest, last year in the first game against the Ratbirds, he was spying Lamar Jackson, and he pretty much kept him in the pocket last year. So I mean, I like Darius Phillips a lot.
And they might be bringing him in, for the Justin Fields snaps to kind of do that same thing. Justin Fields is he's kind of like Joe said, he's kind of has that Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's not quite the Lamar Jackson guy, but he'll honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Fields' arm is better than Lamar's. But obviously Lamar's had plenty of
I think,
time in the league.
yeah,
But
I think this thing. I think Justin Fields has a chance to be a more accurate. I only say better arm, more accurate passer than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
and that's my biggest problem with Lamar Jackson. Is his accuracy. He's got the arm. He's athletic as hell. He can make plays that nobody else in the league can make. But if you could keep him in the pocket and make him throw the ball, he's not as accurate. I mean, and a Baker Mayfield, to me, he's going to throw the ball to you. I think Lamar Jackson makes good decisions and everything. He's just not as accurate, which, I mean, it kind of reminds me a lot of Michael Vick. Michael Vick had a cannon for an arm.
Yeah.
He wasn't accurate. So, and that's kind of where I think Lamar is at. And that's, and let's be honest here, with all the injuries that the Ratbirds have, a lot of the offense is falling on Lamar now. So he's going to have to take more hits. He's going to have to run the ball more. He has to do more than he's had to the last couple of years because they can run the ball so well, which, I mean, they still ran the ball fairly well against the Raiders. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But that, I think eventually is going to take some wear and tear on Lamar because he doesn't, we always get on Joe Burrow about sliding. And that was one of the biggest things last year when he first started. You got to learn how to slide. You got to learn how to slide. Lamar Jackson doesn't slide. He runs you over, just a lot like Cam Newton. And look at Cam Newton. After a while, you take so many hits, you're not as accurate or as healthy, I should say, as you once were. And that's where I think is. Now, I'm not saying it's happened to Lamar now, but it could, or eventually will happen to him.
Right. Yeah, and a career like that. I mean, Tom Brady's been doing this for 20-some years or 50 years, or I don't know how long he's been doing it, but it's because he'll stand in the pocket and throw the ball. And then you've got guys like, Colin Kaepernick and other guys like that are more mobile, that are more run-first oriented style that might last 5 to 6 years.
Well, I'll put it this way. The to me, the first really mobile athletic quarterback that I saw growing up as a kid was Randall Cunningham. He was the ultimate weapon. He was awesome, but he was able to develop his deep ball and his passing game the older he got. Because you remember his years in Minnesota, he was balling out before Warren Moon got there. It was Randall Cunningham with Chris Carter and Randy Moss. So as he got older, he got better at his passing, and he also said too, if he would maybe worked at it a little better, But I mean, you can't blame the guys. I mean, they're just more athletic than everybody else is. They can make the play. So, it's kind of hard to tell them, hey, what you've been doing your entire life is not going to be there the whole time in the NFL. You need to work on other things. So I completely understand why it's hard for these guys to accept that, at certain times. But that's just the thing where I'm at on Lamar. But get back to fantasy football. If you have Lamar Jackson on your team, he's a great fantasy pickup because of the passing and because of the running.
Oh, absolutely. And it's kind of a double-edged sword with Lamar too, though, because in order to get Lamar, you have to draft him so early. But he's still, I mean, he's a high-quality quarterback in fantasy, especially because of I always say it's almost cheating with a running quarterback, because a pure passer, you get like 0.4 points per 10 yards or something like that. And for a running play, you get 1 point for 10 yards. So it's like a guy can throw for 350 yards, and that's like what? I'm not doing math right now, but it's
I was told math is not a requirement to do this job. So. I don't do math.
But a guy can throw for 250 and 2 touchdowns, or a guy can run for 150 or 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the guy with 100 yards and 2 touchdowns is going to score more points. It's kind of crazy how those statistics work, but
exactly. Now, Marvin's bringing up here the Dalton versus Burrow matchup we most likely have this Sunday. And just to talk a little more about the matchup today or on Sunday, I've always been an Andy Dalton fan. Some people always call me an Andy Dalton apologist. I was like, Andy Dalton is a very good quarterback. Never thought he was a great quarterback. I still think he's a good quarterback. But I do think we had the better quarterback going into this game.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think what happened on Sunday, or was it Sunday night, Monday night, Sunday night, was Andy Dalton's fault. The Bears defense looked awful. if you want to be honest. And to me, I'm like, if our offense can play like that, we can win this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dalton didn't have a bad game. And I know Bears fans probably hate hearing that because they all want Justin Fields right now, but
Right.
Dalton, I mean, he didn't, he had that one bad interception, but he didn't play a bad game, really. And then, their defense, I don't know what's
their
going
joke.
on.
I mean, it's gonna be
right.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot like the Vikings. So I mean, the offensive line's gonna get another big test. Just like they did against the Vikings, which I'm okay with. I actually like that. Let's get into this. Let's figure out get the bugs out, work it out early. If you can do that, going against the defense of the Vikings and the Bears back-to-back weeks. We all know we got the Squealers and the Ratbirds in our own division, and the Clowns. Their defense is no joke. So we're not playing against a bad defense in our own division. So I like it that we're playing against these two very good defenses to start the season.
Yeah, and I had somebody tweeted on the Cincinnati Bengals tweeted something about Burrow, but it was like up next to the Bears or something like that, and a Bears fan commented, "We're not the Vikings. We're going to beat you by 10 scores easy," or something like that. And I'm like, okay. Dude, you're a fan. Did you not just watch your team? Like, come on, man.
Did you just not watch your team, and did you not watch our team? If we actually convert on that everybody's getting mad at Zach about, we blow them out.
Yeah, and that's why.
Real quick about Joe and about his knee. Mark Slaughter tweeted this out. Joe said his knee was pretty sore after Sunday nights, but right now it feels the best he's felt this year. So, I mean, of course, his knee. Everybody's don't freak out. His knee,
right?
The whole football game.
And I'm sure absolutely everyone that didn't watch the interview, that didn't read that little blurb right there, or didn't read that tweet, saw the injury report and absolutely freaked out because Joe Burrow was listed with a knee.
Right.
Well, they have to do that because he said something about it.
Yep.
He said his knee was sore, so legally they have to put something on the injury report about his knee. But he was a full participant today. There's no issue at all with the knee. I was more worried about the ankle than the knee, honestly. Yeah. But
that hasn't even been. I mean, I'm done with it. I mean, he didn't show up in a boot. I mean, he's not limping around. I really do think he's fine. Lindsay here says a score prediction this week, and she said if Thad plays, Randy Moss would be at the Bengals game. I don't think Thad's gonna be activated, to be honest. But score prediction, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if. A lot kind of like last week, to be honest. I think it's going to be a close game again. Go ahead, Arrow.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that wasn't a protection for this week. So I don't know. How all that stuff works, if they can still bring him up or drop somebody or how any of that works. But, I mean, obviously, if Drew Sample was to come up with an injury on Friday or something like that, they would obviously bring him up. But
well, I haven't heard anybody signing him, so I think it's from what I understand, these are ones that they can protect that no teams can sign. But then, probably I would assume. Well, I don't even know what the cut down date is to sign a guy off a practice squad. Because to be honest, this is the most I've ever paid attention to a practice squad in my life because Thad's on there. To be honest, and I mean I don't want to lose him because I'm a big Thad Moss fan. I think he's
Thad and Mikey D, man. Those two guys both. I would hate to lose those two guys.
Yeah. John here says, actually, I got two things. Marvin says, Dalton's turning into a bear. You see the Bears D? I did see the Bears D. It wasn't very good. Which I mean, that doesn't mean it won't be good this week. I mean, they're like I said, their front four is no joke. And then John says, Dalton won't be able to handle our D line. 5 sacks, 2 picks for Dalton. And this is what I want to. The farther away I get from Sunday's game, one of my biggest concerns going into this season with the Joseph Osai injury was our outside rush and our edge depth. With the pressure we're getting up the middle, if that continues all year long, that's going to help the edge, and that is huge. I mean, I talked about this with Cap, and I think I talked about it yesterday with Josh from Back Row Bengals. BJ Hill, unbelievable freaking trade. I'm just they flat stole him from the Giants. Billy Price didn't even play. This man came here and first game had a sack and I don't know how many pressures. I mean, flat stole him.
Absolutely. And that's a good key to watch tomorrow. Watch the interior defensive line of the Giants and tell me they couldn't use BJ Hill right now. I mean,
right. I don't. I mean, I never heard of BJ Hill. I saw his stats and he had a good rookie year. I'm kind of like, well, hopefully he can get back to that. And he wasn't getting a whole lot of playing time at in New York. I mean, he wasn't in the cards for him. Obviously, that's why they got rid of him. But he fits in here perfect. I mean, he's here for a week and to make an impact like that, and with that, and I kept talking about the rotation. I was talking about the rotation for the interior line and rotation for the edge, which we don't have as much of a rotation for the edge because Darius Hodge, I think he only got in for 1 snap. Hopefully that gets a little more for him as the season goes on because I like to see what the kid can do. But just Larry Ogunjobi, DJ Reader, and BJ Hill they were just destroying the middle. I mean, Larry.
Oh yeah.
And somebody brought this up. And watching Larry Ogunjobi play remind you of how great Geno was and how much we've missed that the last couple of years with Geno's had injuries.
Oh, I know.
The same. Watching Larry, flat destroy these guys was so much fun. And I watched more of the where we're at in the end zone. You kind of can't see everything. And, it's so I like to go back and watch the highlights and stuff. And I'm like watching the line, I'm like, holy crap, he's just ripping through guys.
I don't know if you knew this or not, but when you have season tickets, you get Game Pass for free. And I watched that replay twice now of the game Sunday.
You are right, and I have not. I forgot about that. I have not set that up. Thanks for reminding me that.
Oh yeah, so I watched the full version and then the short version, both of them, and dude, those guys absolutely got after it. And that's the thing I love about having, being able to replay the game is you get to see a lot more. I love being at the games, but there is quite a few things that you miss.
Yeah. It's just the angle. It's just where you're at. But being at the stadium, and I've said this every time because I really want Thursday night to be sold out. And it just really irritates me that it's not. It's not yet. But being at the stadium and being as loud as we were, and let's be honest, I mean, it holds 63,000. There's only 50 in there, and a lot of them were Viking fans. I mean, there was a lot of purple there. We were loud, and we made a difference. Just think how loud we could be on Thursday night. And also on Thursday night, which they're doing the Ring of Honor. I want to let's honor the Kins. We're 13-14 to the Jags game. But also, I didn't know about this, but I guess, and I've talked to Zim about this on tomorrow's show, that he's starting for that Thursday night to try to get everybody to wear Bengals Zubot pants. You know what those are? The striped.
Oh, I have a pair.
Yeah, I just ordered a pair. I'm like, we're doing that? I'm like, oh, cool, because I've always wanted to buy those, and now I have a reason to do it. So I actually ordered it on the way. So Zuba pants, 13-14 Thursday night. Let's have some fun. Let's go celebrate the Kens in the Ring of Honor. Like I said, screw the Pro Football Hall of Fame right now. We're putting it into our own Ring of Honor. Let's have some fun and enjoy this. Sell that damn thing out.
Pro Football what?
What'd you say? I said, screw the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
What's What's Pro Football Hall of Fame? I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what the Pro Football Hall of Fame is
No.
in Canton, Ohio? Oh, you're being silly. I'm like, dude, wow, that bourbon is really good.
Yeah. No, I refuse to acknowledge them right now.
Okay. I'm kidding. So going, did I not say it right? Dude, you got me. Oh my goodness.
Sorry about that.
You're right. Hey, Jeff said he just turned on the show and he loves your shirt.
Oh, you like that? Yeah. I seen this in the pro shop and I had to get it. That's absolutely the three things in life that I cannot live without right there.
Exactly. Chris said he goes, I donated my Game Pass to a coworker that wasn't able to watch the football games. That's cool.
Hey,
That's nice of him.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
That's awesome. That's take and see that's what right there, Chris. Right, exactly. There is what the Bengals family. We take care of Bengals family members. That is awesome, dude. I mean, I 100%. Yeah, I mean, you're going to the game. They can't watch the game. That's awesome. That's what's so cool about this fan base. I mean, like Josh said yesterday, we get all these guys, crazy guys dressed up. Like, I mean, I'm dressed up. I got the hair, I got the cape, I got all stuff. You got well, you haven't done the full suit yet because it's been a little bit too hot, but that's coming. We got Cat, we got Jim who dressed up. We got Bengals Batman. We had a little baby Power Ranger there. I mean, it's so much fun. And it's like, don't be scared to come up and talk to any of us. It's if you want to get pictures with Cap or Era or Jim or any of these guys, they'll take pictures and that's family, man. Like I said, I was hugging people I don't even know. It was so much fun.
Absolutely. And we're gonna have to start calling you Super Ice Man or something with that cape, you know.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, Marvin's come up with a nickname for Larry Ogunjobi. Call him Gun Joby. Larry Ogunjobi. Ogunjobi. Jeez, it took me a while to just say Larry Ogunjobi. Get that out of my mouth. So you want me to say that? So looking, it looks like the Reds game. They have the cover on the field. Looks like it might be raining in Pittsburgh. Which let's get to a little bit of Reds talk here. I don't know about you, dude, but they're really frustrating the crap out of me right now. They've lost. I lost track 7 series in a row. They I won't say they got their ass kicked, but Wade Miley freaking gave up 6 runs to the Pirates last night. I mean, he went from winning 7 straight decisions from the end of May to the end of August. And unfortunately, he's lost 2 out of his last 3. And last night he allowed 6 of the 5 runs. I mean, that's what is going on, Arrow? Well, I don't understand. We were like in the summertime, we were shotgunning beers, having fun, and now just kind of we can't win a damn series. And that's what. And the Padres are giving it to us now. The freaking Tweety Birds have passed us up.
And the Pirates are beating us. I mean, it's just. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with these guys. They gotta. I think, I think David Bell said it. You know, he said he's not. I think he said he's not worried we'll turn it around. I can't remember the exact quote, but when he was talking to the players or whatever. But yeah, it's not looking good too hot right now. But I think it's going to be kind of like it was last year when you come up to the end and we'll just kind of sneak on in. But honestly, that's all we need.
Last year, they won 7 straight series to get in. That's what they're going to have to pretty much do right now because they're a half a game out of the second wild card right now. And it all pretty much started. And I didn't think he's had a great year, but I didn't know he meant this much to the offense is when DeWink, ever since he's been out, the offense has not been consistent. Like, they'll go through.
It's crazy because when Castellanos went out of the lineup, we all thought, oh, crap, here we go, we're done. And everybody picked things up, but then all of a sudden, Wink goes out, and it's like maybe he was the guy who was kind of pulling the strings. But
what helped when Castellanos went out is Votto just went on a freaking absolute tear.
Yeah,
I mean that's what helped there. And right now, nobody is doing that. I mean, they're still hitting, but nowhere close to what they were. And just AU Eugenio Suarez, dude, I just it's so frustrating to watch him play right now.
Mm-hmm.
An error and not running balls out. I mean, not moving up on bases, not scoring when he should. I don't know what's going on with him. I mean, I understand not being able to hit like you used to, but running the bases aggressively, that has nothing to do with hitting the ball. That's effort. And last couple of games, I've seen him where he should have scored and he didn't. And last night, I think he should have moved up a base and he didn't.
Yeah, yep. And I don't know how you feel or how a lot of other people feel, but honestly, when they started losing and they was losing series after series after series, and then all of a sudden football came on with college football and the NFL, and then all of a sudden I've found it hard to find time to watch the games. I mean, honestly, and I hate saying that, and I hate being like that, but it's like it's almost like if you're not going to put that quality out on the field, we've got other quality teams that are absolutely kicking ass right now. I mean, UC's freaking lighting the world on fire right now, and then the Bengals did what they did, and it's just like what.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It actually kind of helps me. So I'm not. I mean, I still watch them every night. It kind of helps me that I'm not, because if the Bearcats weren't doing so good and the Bengals weren't doing so good, and then I'd be like the one team we got that can make the playoffs and they're blowing it, I'd be losing my damn mind, to be honest. So I'm it's kind of helped my mental stability out here. Now, Royal Flush Terry says the Reds will give us false hope when they score 15 runs tonight and 8 runs and tomorrow in back-to-back wins. Then comes the Dodgers. We'll see. And then Jeff says, why don't they bring up the kid from AAA? I believe he's an outfielder. You mean Senzel? Is that who you're talking about? I don't know what. That's the only kid I can think of that you might be talking about. I don't know what to do.
If you're talking about Burrow, he's already up.
He's already up. He was in center field last night, part of the game. And the thing is, I can't, like before, I could blame it on the bullpen. I can't blame it on one specific thing. Like last night, Wade Miley, who's been our most consistent pitcher, gives up damn near 6 runs. It's and they come back. I mean, they only lost by 1, but it's like one night it's the offense is there. Then the next night it's not the pitching. Then it's the defense. It's not just one thing. They're not clicking.
The Bengals of previous years,
right?
I mean, the Bengals. 1 week the defense will absolutely play lights out, and then the Andy Dalton can't score a touchdown, or then the next week the special teams gives up a few, and then the week after that we've got 3 fumbles or something. It's like you just can't you can't get all everything going at once.
Yeah, it's and that's time. Now it's time they need that. This is crunch time. This is when you need to do it. And Jeff says, yeah, Senzel. Well, Senzel is out because his knee. He's still having knee issues, as far as I know, and that's what Terry's saying too. Yeah, he's still got knee issues, so that's the reason that Senzel is not up here. But I mean, and like I said, it's not just one thing. It's not just bring this guy up and do that, and it'll all be fixed. It's to me, it's almost like, okay, I hate to bring up last year, but remember what 22 innings and didn't score a run in the playoffs. And I said, it's like, it was push that out of our minds. It was like I said, it's like the Reds nuts just shriveled up, in crunch time, and that's kind of what's happening right now. It's like you have the path laid out for you. You have the easiest path compared as far as schedule goes compared to the teams that we were leading that are in the race with you, and you're blowing it, and it's like, why? Like what? I'm like, and I'm not. People are like, I gotta blame David Bell. I'm not blaming David Bell. David Bell has, I think, managed his ass off this year. I think he's done a great job with the team that he was given with that, like I said, that giant hole in the middle of the bullpen. So I think he's done a great job. Sometimes it's on the players. Sometimes like, hey, all you do is put the line out. They got to perform. Go ahead.
That I was just going to say that's the most frustrating thing about this year is, and I don't want to say it's the front office's fault or it's Bell's fault. Or I'm not trying to point fingers. It's so frustrating that like we had some quality pitchers, and they all got hurt, and then they do absolutely nothing. They're like, well, they'll be back here in a little while, and it's like, okay, but in the meantime, we're losing game after game after game because of our pitching, and if they would have done something right whenever one of those guys got hurt, then I think it would be in a whole lot different situation right now.
I've said this before. They should have done something at the All-Star break when they were 4 games out of the All-Star break or 3 games out. I think it was what it was. That's when they should have done something because TJ Anton and Lucas Sims were not close. I mean, they didn't come back till almost the end of August.
And that's the thing.
They needed to make a trade to get the trade they made. They needed to make it sooner if they could.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing too. Is you were kind of living on false hope that as soon as these guys come back, we'll be fine. Well, guess what? Anton came back, and then what happened?
Yep. Tommy
John. If you would have traded for a guy and been rolling while Anton was recovering, and then when he comes back, let's just say when he comes back and the Tommy John doesn't happen.
Right.
Well, then guess what? You've got a trade piece now. You can trade that guy that you just picked up, or there's ways around all this stuff. You don't just collect a guy and be like, okay, we're done. You could have traded him back off or done other things. It's not just one way. Bring him in. It's not buy, and don't sell. But I don't know. I'm just frustrated.
It's been a frustrating but fun year. Now I got 2 comments here from Jeff and Royal Flush Terry, and they both got good points. Jeff says his Cards are playing against the Padres this weekend. Good time for the Reds to take advantage and pass both of them. But then Royal Flush Terry brings up the Reds are playing the Dodgers this weekend. Hard to take advantage of that when you can't beat the Marlins. Now, Pirates or Marlins. Now, one thing the Dodgers have clinched. So they might be in chill mode. That's one thing we got. We're still in playoff mode. They clinched. They might be, not playing everybody, getting ready for the playoffs. So hopefully,
please rest your starters.
Well, they rested their starting pitchers, but they may not play all their starting players. It's just I don't know. It's just a mindset too. They might be like not as intense as they were. I don't know. We'll see. But hey, I mean, the Reds went out to LA and swept the Dodgers earlier this year. So I mean, the Reds can look when the Reds offense is clicking, they can beat anybody in freaking baseball. When they're playing to their best potential, they can beat anybody. So you never know what's going to happen. I hope they turn it around tonight. It looks like they're pulling the cover off the field. So hopefully we'll get some baseball tonight here in a little while. All right, man. It's almost 6:30. I know you got to do your show, so I'm going to let you go. But tell everybody about your show, what it is, how to follow you, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's the only Bengals-centric fantasy football podcast. I got a niche, and there's probably not a whole lot of people that watch fantasy football or that do fantasy football and that are wanting Bengals knowledge and stuff like that. So I kind of throw it back and forth between talking about the Bengals and then talking about fantasy stuff like that. So it's the Orange Arrow Fantasy Show on YouTube, and I also do it on Facebook and on Twitter and stuff like that. So you can find it pretty much anywhere. Just follow me at the Bengal4 on Twitter, and you can figure out all those cool stuff. I will say this: if you're watching it on Facebook, I still haven't been able to figure out why the heck I can't see Facebook comments. So hop on over to YouTube, check it out there, and we'll roll with it. But yeah, I've got that, and then we've got the fantasy advice and stuff on the Orange and Black Insider, and we're hopefully going to be able to do that weekly. So obviously you follow Anthony Kazenza and all those guys. So I don't even need to bring that up, but
absolutely, man. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for coming on. It was a blast. And is it Thursday yet? I want my Zuba pants on. I want my 13-14 on. I'm ready to go.
Absolutely. Who day, bro?
Who day? All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. It's a little fantasy football mixed in with some Reds and some Bengals talk. So let's get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream, and I appreciate every single one of them. We got Who Day Nation, Bengals Nation, Bengals Legion, Bearcat Country, the Ohio State Bucknuts, Cincinnati Reds riding third, heading for home, the Ice Bar, Bearcat Ruckus, and then you also follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Trennepohl. That's TRENNEPOHL. TikTok is at Iceman90. Listen, you look up Sports with Strawberry Ice, all that stuff will pop up. You'll be able to find me. I'll be pulling off the sound later on tonight. Putting up on the podcast. I'm on Google Play, BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. So you can't sit here and watch me for an hour. You can listen to me while you're working out, in the car, at work, whatever. Check me out. Make sure you download, like, rate, review. I would greatly appreciate it. Leave a comment, too. That way more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. YouTubers, I'm at 1,366 subscribers. That is awesome. Do me a favor. I only got 3 likes on the show. If you hit the thumbs up, hit it a couple more times, it just helps people find the show. And as always, I like to leave you with 2 things. First of all, never forget my boy Jeremy Dimebag Dean. Nuts. These nuts. We'll be back on the show. I hope sometime soon. I miss the guy. I like to have him on. He's working a ton. But as he always says, remember one thing and one thing only, and that is you don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati, so act like it. And then Brad Pillman wants to remind all of us where he's from.
From the streets of Cincinnati, welcome to the jungle!
I love that. And that's just sports, baby. See ya!
Let's go. Stripes, 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 yeah, stripes, 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 orange in the day, black in the night, stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly, the beast is awake, orange, black and white, cause when the jungle come alive, day we ignite and stripes. Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and drippin' orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every game day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle drippin' heat, tigers strike the city streets. East side stand up, west side stand up. If you rappin' who day, time to put your hands up. Bingo stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Who they in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, hit the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the bounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and drippin' orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah we got 'em, yeah we fought 'em. Like that black and orange on bottle, bingo bottle, never stop it till the beast and know who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world who king. Orange in on the